Thanks, man. For sharp mode? Okay.
That sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good.
That sounds great.
3, 2, 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, then we'll go on to that. That sounds perfect. There you go.
4-2.
4-2.
And an easy going pace.
Easy going pace.
Not too fast.
Key of the word is.
All those things.
think, right?
Twice. Twice. Well, while I'm strapping this beast on, I should introduce the band. We are 6 Mile Crack, not to be confused with 6 Mile Creek. Crack in the Irish language means having a good time. So if you're wondering, what does that mean? It's that we are punning a little bit and we are having a good time. We are Suzanne Schwartz on mandocello and fiddle. We are Bill Hurley on fiddle and viola, Jeff Werner on fiddle, Sean Rillera on fiddle, and David Sibley on the very recognizable Gatandolin.
And Susan Murphy on Bill and Pipe and everything else.
Ellen pipe whistles and piano.
We got one more set, right?
Yep, we got a little something pipey for you. Let's go
King's
2 and 2.
Leash.
2 and 2. Kings of Leash and Choice Wife. 2 and 2.
6 Mile Crack, everyone. Another round of applause. A musical reminder of another culture that has experienced its share of migration and trauma, which unfortunately is a theme that is one we'll be thinking about this evening. So my name, I wanted to say thank you also to our other musicians from the dinner. I don't know if Carlos has made his way up here yet. Carlos, are you here? Carlos Gutierrez and his daughter Graciela. Thank you. Beautiful. We are so blessed to have more than our share of amazing musicians in this community, and that they are interested and able to share their talents with us is a real blessing. So I know many of you, but for those who don't, I'm Michael Smith. I'm a member of the First Congregational Church's Sanctuary Ministry team, and so a welcome on behalf of all of us. A few more thank yous. First to the countless volunteers who helped organize this dinner and program. You can see the list of faith communities and other organizations in the program who've supported First Congregational Church in our more than 4-year journey as a sanctuary church. So thank you to all of you for helping. To the local businesses who supported this event with incredibly generous donations, including the incomparable Wide Awake Bakery bread. To Jenny and Edgar, who we'll be hearing from later, who led the way in preparing this taste of Peru that you enjoyed downstairs. And thank you for being here and for being part of a community that takes seriously the idea of radical welcome to strangers. We need to be such a community. Migration, especially involuntary migration, is already too prominent a feature of our world today. The UN estimates that there are 114 million displaced people in the world right now, a number that has nearly tripled in just 15 years. War, political and cultural persecution, and increasingly climate change are forcing people from their homes around the world. Welcoming strangers is going to be one of the great challenges and one of the great opportunities of the 21st century. With the support of this community, you, First Congregational has now twice been able to welcome a migrant family in danger into our sanctuary apartment. It matters, and the support you are offering tonight enables us to make a small difference, but a big one to the people directly affected. By embracing radical welcome really demands even more of us. As we will hear later this evening, the structural challenges of immigration in this country are imposing and require political mobilization to address. But they're real human beings caught up in the chaos of immigration policy, and we'll also hear from some of them tonight. Over the next 45 minutes, we hope to hear some terrific music, poetry, and reflections on immigration and sanctuary from those who have experienced our broken immigration system. And we hope this will allow you to reflect on how to see your own role in the sanctuary city of Ithaca. This would now be the time when I welcomed to the microphone the senior pastor of First Congregational Church, David Caden, but unfortunately he's under the weather. But I'm going to, on his behalf, read a statement he prepared. I can't be David, but I'll read the statement. Welcome to all of you, and thank you for being part of this important initiative that is housed at First Congregational Church, but is really a community-wide effort. We call it a ministry at our church, which comes from a Greek word in the New Testament that means service. Being a sanctuary church, supporting immigrants, reaching out with open and compassionate arms to embrace society's vulnerable human beings, all of these are a community service, a service to our fellow human beings, a service to our Ithaca and regional community, and a service to humanity. But whether you are a member of First Congregational Church of Ithaca, a member of one of our ecumenical partners or other faith communities, or a supporter of the Ithaca or regional community, from the Ithaca or regional community, I think we would all agree that even more than a service, standing with society's vulnerable is the morally right thing to do. In our religious tradition's sacred text, which includes the Hebrew Bible and the New Testament Christian edition, it is stated unequivocally and repeatedly that people of faith are to welcome the stranger, embrace the outcast, care for the needy, clothe those who shiver in the cold, and give shelter to the homeless, and liberate the oppressed. The spirit of the Bible is a spirit that seeks justice and peace for all people and longs for every person to flourish. The Bible exhorts readers to live lives of compassion for our fellow human beings from all walks of life, It urges us to see the divine in every face and to treat each person with the same kindness and care that we would treat the divine, the most sacred thing, because that is what a person is, sacred. Each person is a reflection of what our Jewish siblings call Tselem Elohim, the very image of God. So, how we treat another human being is how we treat God. Which is why we believe at our church that offering sanctuary is the morally right thing to do. It's not merely a service of compassion to humanity. It is a way for us to live into our faith. It is a way for us to demonstrate the virtue of love that we see exemplified in the life and teachings of Jesus. And offering sanctuary is a way for us to experience hope. Hope that by standing with immigrants and their families and by offering sanctuary, we can play a role in bending what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. called the long arc of history toward justice. First Congregational Sanctuary Ministry is a ministry of faith, hope, and love. Thank you all for being here tonight, and thank you for supporting this morally vital service to our community and to our fellow human beings. Thank you. Thank you, David, for those words. He's an amazing leader of this place we call First Congregational. I'm really sorry he can't be here tonight. So with that, I'm going to welcome the first a part of our program to the microphone. Barbara Regenspan is going to read some of her poetry for us. Barbara.
Hi, good evening. I'm of the Personal is Political School of Poetry, so I hope you'll see the connections that I'm making with issues of cross-cultural communication and immigration and boundaries. So the first poem I'm going to read is called About Boundaries. Friday, my tire blew out on the walkway by Cascadilla Creek. A weakened spot was nudged to explosion by one too many encounters with a hewn square log, the barrier poised between road and garden at Tioga. David was kneading around his hernia when I burst in the front door with my news. He preoccupied with fear of Monday's surgery. Me comedically inspired now by comparison of two bursting bulges. Suppress my inspiration, a higher power ordered. Respect pain over comedy, especially when comedy's source is not suffering a potential flesh burst. Repressing thoughts is hard for me. I fear the trembly isolation of keeping it all inside, like the pressurized oxygen in the weakened tire, like the herniating flesh behind the weakened muscle. After the operation, the young surgeon meets me in the waiting room, anxious to share detailed photos of the movement and replacement of my husband's tissue. Dr. Katz is bursting with inspiration, proud of the mesh barrier he installed, a closed door on a body not meant to open that way. I cherish the information. It's good to know our boundaries, when to let out, what to repress, where metal is required, how to open and close the right doors of others. And this poem is called Encounters on a Fall Day in Ithaca, and it features Jessie Gomez, who's here. Jessie, the first child resident of the sanctuary. She appears in the poem as my 5-year-old Guatemalan sweetheart. Every morning, our walkway remakes its life, whether or not we sleep well, whether or not Cornell pays its fair share, whether or not the invasion of Gaza leaves any sidewalk there unbloodied, any children not torn from their families in collapsed houses. Across the canal, someone leaves for class. The white cat resumes its spot by the door of the girl who feeds it on the 3rd floor of the long balcony over which a willow weeps. and a planter holds something pink that might blossom through the snow this winter while wars rage elsewhere. And my 5-year-old Guatemalan sweetheart asks, "Do I speak Russian?" when a Ukrainian mom talks with me of cross-generational trauma at a serendipitous meeting in our corner park. "No, your first language is Spanish," this sister philosopher explains. It's beautiful like you are, and someday you'll relearn it when, if we want to, everybody gets to go home. The last one I'm going to read is silly. But then I want to call up Ruth Yarrow, who has a very beautiful poem about Gaza that she just wrote. Okay, this poem's called Skydiving. My grandson Asher has captured my passion. I'm in love with the son of my son. I hope he'll be able to grow in peace in a kind world so unlike this one. Still, Dorothy Hoffner died today at age 104. Last month, she launched from Asher's mom's town, her last Chicago tour. Her young instructor shared the straps, so in the photos they looked attached, reminding me how love's complex, as Freud incessantly reflects. While Asher grows old like Dorothy Hoffner, I'll be a flying cougar, nestling in ears of corporate foes, reminding these thieves that they'll reap what they sow, and the cost that awaits them they cannot know. And yet today, I soften my thoughts to send my son love in a post. But you should know, despite this boast, I won't be kind when I'm a ghost.
Here. I wrote this trying to grasp what's happening in Israel, Palestine. Stubble, rubble. Stubble, blurred with speed, riding with family, past cornfields, through country air, weighted with awareness of rubble. Blurred with tears, leaving missing family, plodding past craters, through death-scented air, weighted with agony.
Need my glasses to announce the next act on the program. It's amazing how art can produce such a range of emotions in a short amount of time. Our next guests are some students. You can read their names in the program from the Ithaca College Musical Theater program. And those of you who know the renown of that program know how lucky we are to have them here to perform for us.
Shoes and this apron, that place and its patrons have taken more than I gave them. It's not easy to know I'm not anything like I used to be, although it's true I was never attention sweet center. I still remember that girl. She's imperfect. She is good, but she lies. She is hard on herself. She is broken and won't ask for help. She is messy, but she's kind. She is lonely most of the time. She is all this mixed up and baked in a beautiful pie. She is gone, but she used to be mine. And it's not what I asked for. Sometimes life just slips in through the back door and carves out a person and makes you believe it's all true. And now I've got you. You're not what I asked for. If I'm honest, I know I would give it all back for a chance to start over and rewrite an ending or two. For that girl that I knew who was reckless just enough, who gets hurt but who learns how to toughen up when she's bruised and gets used by a man who can't love. And then she'll get stuck and be scared of the life that's inside her, growing stronger each day till it finally reminds her to fight just a little, to bring back the fire in her eyes that's been gone but used to be mine. Oh, used to be mine. She is messy, but she's kind. She is lonely most of the time. She is all this mixed up and baked in a beautiful pie. She is gone, but she used to be mine. Street lamp, dim glow. I'd like to blanket night like summer snow. Well, let it pour. Just cover up whatever came before.
Sea breeze whips through and makes you do some crap you'd never do. Talking queer. Why the hell are you still here? And we go bum 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 bum. Don't know why I decided to come. you made her cry. Why do you care? What took hold? Look at her, she looks so cold.
And we go boom, 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 ba boom, 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 ba boom, 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 ba boom, boom, boom. Don't know why I decided to come. Don't know why I decided to come. Twisting lemons into lemonade. You'd be sleeping.
You'd be drunk if you had stayed. But you might miss
any good that could
come after this.
First date.
Last night, not quite what you pictured, but all right. So take her out,
Give him a shot.
'cause people can surprise you or not.
And we go boom, 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 boom.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years we all will be together, if the fates allow. So hang a shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas night.
Thank you so much. Yeah, again, the amazing talent in our community, which includes a great deal of legal talent. We have a number of people in our community, both at Cornell Law School and in private practice, who are themselves profound advocates of immigrants. And I want to welcome one of those people next to the microphone. Jacqueline Kelly Widmer is a professor of law at Cornell and runs the Immigrant Advocacy Clinic there. And she's going to just share a few reflections with us about the state of immigration policy at the moment and some of the things that might be coming in the next few years. So, Jackie.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much, Michael, and thanks so much to everyone for welcoming me and inviting me and including me in this event. I'm Jackie Kelly Widmer. As Michael said, I'm a clinical professor of law at Cornell, and there I run an immigration law and advocacy clinic where I work together with my law students to represent immigrants in a variety of different matters. Some people who live locally and some who live further afield within New York State or elsewhere in the nation. And so I just wanted to present a little overview of a few key things that are going on in immigration right now. And the first big thing that happened in the last year was that at the border, the Biden administration was finally able to lift Title 42. That was a rule that the Trump administration put in place that said people could not enter the US because of the public health emergency of the pandemic. So this rule was used in 2020 to really slow down who was able to come into the United States. Even people who were claiming for asylum were being summarily turned around. So in May, we saw the end of Title 42, although together with that, we saw the Biden administration putting out some other types of measures meant to slow people down in different ways. But one of the concerns that folks had is that there would be so many people arriving to the border, more than usual, because of the 3 years of Title 42 that had prevented people. But actually what we saw was not an immediate rush of folks, but rather actually numbers were down originally when this change happened. But over time, in the last few months, we've seen higher numbers of folks arriving, sometimes 8,000 people in a day. So that's a staggering number. And what I want to note is that we're seeing some real big changes lately between the types of the places that people are coming from when they're arriving in the US. Now, as we know, the US is considered by many to be a real safe haven and a place where people can find security and where they can seek protection when they are fearing the situation in their home country. And back in as recently as 2020, about 90% of people who were arriving at the border were from 4 countries: Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. But just in the last 3 years, that's changed drastically. And now, instead of 90% of people coming from those countries, it's 50%. That means the other 50% are from all around the world. Many people are coming from Cuba, Nicaragua, Haiti, and Venezuela, but I, in my work, and can attest to the fact that I've seen a real big demographic shift. And now, when I go work near the border with my students, as I did a few months ago and a couple of times this year, I have met people from places like Senegal and Mauritania and Guinea and Iran and Russia and the Ukraine and Ecuador and other further away places. Because there's a lot going on in the world, and we are seeing that folks are finding pathways to the US through Central America and sometimes starting even in South America and working their way all the way here because of the various crises that are happening around the world. Now, another big theme we saw in the last year is the real fight between the state and federal governments over who should have control over what's happening in immigration policy, especially with states like Texas implementing different rules, like trying to criminalize border crossing and sending migrants to northern cities on buses and planes. So in here locally, more close to home in New York State, of course, New York City has been receiving a lot of people from all over the world. And this summer, we saw New York sending some folks upstate. You might remember that there was a group of counties, many counties in New York, actually immediately started implementing bans on hotels receiving asylum seekers as a way to try to prevent people from coming. Those bans have pretty much expired now because they were time limited. And I want to note that Tompkins County was not among the counties that was trying to stop refugees from being resettled in upstate New York. In fact, Tompkins County's been working to try and be ready in case we do receive folks. And other cities like Rochester and Buffalo and Albany have all been resettling families, enrolling kids in school, taking care of folks' medical and social needs. And so we are seeing some real welcoming communities in upstate New York, which is a lovely thing. And so, of course, one challenge that recent arrivals are facing is just the tremendous backlog in immigration. There's about 1.6 million pending asylum cases in the US right now. That means it can take sometimes 5+ years for people to receive their asylum. We are expediting, the government is expediting some people's applications, such as folks from Afghanistan in some cases, but it's a real long haul right now to receive permanent relief, and even to receive work authorization, which people cannot apply for unless they have had their application for asylum pending for at least 6 months. So on the one hand, we are a country who is receiving a lot of people from all over the world, and there are measures that people are taking to be welcoming, but we're also working in a climate that can sometimes be hostile and with laws that are not as flexible as we need them to be in these times. So that's one reason I'm just really thrilled to be able to support the work of the Sanctuary Project here at FCC, and also the work of other local groups like Tompkins County Immigrants' Rights Collaborative, Ithaca Welcomes Refugees, the Cornell Farm Worker Program. All of these are groups that I regularly collaborate with my students. And a little further afield, I work a lot with Freedom for Immigrants, which is a national organization that helps get people out of detention. So if you are so inclined, they do have a bond fund, which is one of the ways people can get free from immigration detention. There are, I will note, about 40,000 people immigrants detained in the US on any given day, and 70% of them have no criminal record. And so that detention is one way to get out is to donate to bond funds. So I encourage you also to follow organizations like National Immigrant Law Center and Immigrants Rising on social media or in the news, so you can keep up to date with what's going on in the immigration world. And I'm just pleased to be able to share these thoughts with you, and I'll be here afterwards in case anyone wants to chat. Thank you for inviting me.
Jackie. It is through the work of people like Jackie and some of the organizations that she mentioned that First Congregational Church often learns of people who are in need of sanctuary. And that is certainly the case of our next speaker, Drusilla Francisco, who in July of 2020, that date may make you think of a troubling time, which it was. She entered our sanctuary apartment and lived with us for the next 2 years and became a really beloved member of our community here at First Congregational. And it's thrilling to have seen her flourish beyond our church in the past year plus. She and her daughter are now out living on their own in Ithaca, and she just wants to share a few words about her experience here at First Congregational and in Ithaca as a migrant. Drusilla.
Hello, my name is Drusilla, and I was the first person, the first family here with my daughter in the sanctuary. So thanks for your help. Now I have my green card, and I'm currently working. So I want to thank you, to the Ithaca community, because without everybody's help, it wouldn't be possible. And I want to thank you too, because you're helping this new family to with their legal status. Without you, it wouldn't be possible, because the thing is that when we are going through a process to get our green card or the legal status fixed, we can't work because we don't have a work permit, right? And if we do it, it's very risky, so it's not good. So, but we have our expenses to cover, and if we have kids like me, I had a daughter, we wouldn't be able to do that. So that's when you come and help us, so this is possible. So thank you so much for that, and thanks for coming to the dinner and supporting with just coming or sharing time with the new family, or with your donations. Yeah, thanks to everyone. I know it's a big team, all the churches that organize and have their meetings to make it possible for us to have our food, clothes, the winter is coming, and lawyer. Yeah, I know it's a big community, so thanks a lot.
Now we're going to hear briefly from our current sanctuary guests, Edgar and Jenny, and Shannon Gleason is going to help with the translation.
Muy buenas noches con todos.
Good evening, everyone.
Aquí estamos muy agradecidos con sus visitas que nos han visitado acá a servirse unos platos.
We're very thankful that you've joined us here tonight to come welcome us and to visit with us and to eat some of our delicious plates.
Le agradecemos mucho y estamos muy contentos con su visita con ustedes. Le agradecemos mucho, muchas gracias.
We want to thank you deeply for your time and for being here with us, and we just want to welcome you and know how much gratitude we have for being here.
De igual manera, muy buenas noches con toda la familia de Estados Unidos. Muchísimas gracias por tenernos, por visitarnos.
Good evening, everyone, and to all of you and your family, thank you for being here. We are so grateful that you've come to be with us and to visit us.
Todos son buenas. Gracias. Estoy muy agradecida de todos. Muchísimas gracias.
You are all so wonderful, and we are so thankful for you being here and for all your support. Thank you.
Right. We have two portions left of our program. The first is a screening of a video, and I'm going to ask Susan to come up and just say a few words about it and its creation, and maybe the rest of the band can make their way up here, because they're going to close the program with another couple of rousing Celtic numbers. So I'll get this going, and you can tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, so when I'm not playing Irish music, I compose. Back in the day, I was a composer, lyricist in New York City, working in theater. One of the bands that I was with here once we retired in Ithaca was a group called Answer the Muse. Now, Michael, how many years ago was that? Probably 5 with the pandemic. So about 5 years ago, I was asked to write a song about, supporting the whole refugee immigrant situation here in Ithaca. My husband was also involved with Ithaca Welcomes Refugees. This is a song I'd composed that Answer the Muse performed. Our bass player, Joseph Rail, put together this really beautiful music video. The name of the piece is called Promised Land.
Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free.
Shadows out of sight. Will I find a helping hand? America, the promised land. I can't show you where I've been, what I've seen, the pain I'm in. Praying that you'll understand. America, the freedom land. You can call me refugee, wearing scars that you can't see. Life and death locked in a dance. I wait for a second chance. Will I get a second chance? Family that lives in fear.
Okay, all right. There's
Let's go.
a set of slip jigs for you, 9/8 time for you musicians out there.
Should we go 2-2-2?
Yeah, just
2-2-2.
Oh, all right. Whatever.
Six Mile Crack, everybody. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
May the music that they filled the air with this evening help carry you into the world in the spirit of radical welcome. Thank you so much for being here tonight. If you care to donate to the sanctuary work of FCC, there's an opportunity to do so outside. And in any case, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and thanks again for being here.